Welcome, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Flecha, and welcome to the recap of Extreme Rules as it was held tonight live from formerly known as the Rosemont Horizon, now is known for a number of years as the Allstate Arena outside of suburban Chicago. It's in Rosemont, and wow, gentlemen, what a night we had. Let's just dig right in. Unfortunately, I'm afraid there was some bad news, and this is not going to sit well with the Yes movement, but this was kind of rumored, and well, the rumors were indeed true. The Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan was unable to fight, as many of you guys know. Daniel Bryan was suffering an injury. They said that it looked like it was a concussion or something. Unfortunately, he was unfit and unable to fight, was not medically cleared, and they did some shuffling around of the deck, as we say. So all of a sudden, the pre-show fight ended up being Bad News Barrett going one-on-one with the man that gravity forgot, Neville. Adrian Neville actually won the match, so you know what? We're just gonna go right through it, skim it quickly, guys. Unfortunately, I did not get to see this fight. I did have work commitments, so I actually did miss this fight. However, hopefully Anthony Florio and Mike Bullock, you guys can give me your 2 cents about it. So with that said, Florio, I'm gonna lead off with you. What did you think?
That's not a problem, Fletch, because I saw this actually. Of course, I tune into the pre-show fights all the time. You don't have to worry about that. But nonetheless, hello friends, it's ridiculously over Anthony Florio here with you for our Extreme Rules recap here. Delighted to have you with us as always, and yes, this was expected. I mean, credit. I'm gonna give credit to the real individual who reported all this. Our Grand Poobah himself, the hardcore pipe bomb, Derek Pereira. He's the one who, if you read his sports blog, you know, the one where he previewed the Extreme Rules event, he said that Daniel Bryan couldn't go and have Neville go up against Bad News Barrett in a match. And here you go. Derek was right. And here comes another good move. They made this the pre-show fight, which moved the tag team title fight to the main card. So, a double win-win here. But we'll get into that in just a moment. But as far as this fight is concerned, I'm going to give this between 2.5 to 3 stars. I thought this was a very good kickoff match. I mean, it went about 10 minutes, I believe, and yeah, I'm not at all surprised Neville went over. I mean, they're trying to get the guy over, and far and away, this would have to be considered his biggest win, you know, since debuting, you know, the night after WrestleMania. So bigger and better things are coming for Adrian Neville, folks. You can believe that. Yeah, good near falls down the stretch, a wasteland, a wind of change, and yeah, some sick moves in this fight. And you know, Barrett was going for a bull hammer. He misses wildly. Neville with a big old kick to the head, knocked Barrett down, and then the Red Arrow, folks. The sweetest move I have seen in professional wrestling since Evan Bourne's Airborne. I think it's even sweeter than Evan Bourne's Airborne, if I'm being quite honest with you. So, if you haven't seen the hang time on that, I suggest you better. It's between 2.5 to 3 stars, but all in all, it was a very, very good kickoff fight, and definitely a nice tone setter, no pun intended, for the Extreme Rules. Chicago crowd ate it up, and I'm not at all surprised that they ate up Neville, because come on, he's an IWC darling, for God's sakes, come on now. So 2.5 to 3 stars. Michael Bullock, I know you saw the fight too, so let's get your 2 cents on it. Neville and Bad News Barrett.
All right, thank you very much. Ridiculously over, Anthony Florio. Yes, this is the Phenom, Mike Bullock here for our Extreme Rules recap edition of the Wrestling Forum. Yeah, I did see this match. I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars. I thought this was a good match here, a very good kickoff match. I didn't know what to expect from this match once we heard about Daniel Bryan not being at Extreme Rules, but Neville put on a really good show here, and there were times when Barrett hit those 2 of his moves, the winds of change, and the wasteland, I was thinking he was going to beat him, but Neville persevered and hit that red arrow. And I'll tell you what, boys, I really love that finishing maneuver, and he is the reason why he is called. I mean, he is called what he is, who he is, and I'll tell you what, I hope this guy gets a big time push. I mean, there's a reason why he was the longest reigning NXT champion over in NXT because of his body of work. We'll have to wait and see what the future does hold for Mr. Neville. And what are they going to do with Bad News Barrett? Well, we're just going to have to wait and find out. So, 3 stars is my rating for the match. So with that being said, Flecha, let's get to the main card.
And, okay, guys, this is going to get really, really, really interesting because we're going to have to break this first fight in 2 parts because there was the main part, there was the first part, then there was a break, and then there's the second part. So what I'm going to do is I don't want the official rating. So let's talk about the first fight as a segment, and then you can give me your official rating for the second part. It was Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper, and they went 1-on-1 in a Chicago street fight. So no official rating yet. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just give me your opinions about this fight until the end. No rating, guys. So just your initial thoughts. Michael Bullock, we lead off with you.
Man, this was a crazy segment here. I mean, the brawling basically. It was going on like crazy, and to the point where they even battled in the back. And we saw them use so many different weapons during this, and yes, even one of those prop segments in the back where the interview area went, and then of course all of a sudden Luke Harper basically gets in the car, and then Ambrose basically dives right in, and he drives right off, and I was sitting there like, wait a minute, did they pull off something like what happened in that Hollywood backlot brawl that we saw at WrestleMania 12 back in '96? Holy moly, this was a crazy segment, even though there was some brawling here. So, man, I don't know what else there is to say about this whole thing except, Florio, what's your take on this?
Exactly like the Hollywood backlot brawl, Michael Bullock. You're absolutely correct on that. That's exactly what it was. I didn't have a star rating anyway, so there was no way I was going to give you a rating anywho. A lot of things went through my mind during that fight. Michael Bullock, you just brought that back into my mind. I honestly wasn't even thinking about that. You made a good point there, right there. But I was trying for a much funnier moment here. And one that Michael Flecha remembers very well. And, some news from the world of sports. And hopefully I won't get hopefully my head doesn't get chewed off because of this, unlike the last time I did something like this. But I think it's okay if I spoil this.
Actually, you're more than welcome to spoil this. This is no. This is not like no hitter or anything like this. This is free reign. Go.
Good. All right. I had a feeling. From the world of the AHL, the Calder Cup playoffs, it is the Providence Bruins defeating the Hartford Wolfpack 2-1 in triple overtime. Now, how many games into the series are they playing?
I believe this is actually game 3 that just happened. So the Bruins now has a 2-1 lead in the series.
And this is interesting because this is actually technically a strictly sports buddy bowl, because remember, the Providence Bruins are the AHL affiliate of the Boston Bruins, which of course represented by Michael Bullock and Derek Ferreira, whereas the Hartford Wolfpack happens to be the AHL affiliate of your New York Hockey Rangers. represented by myself, Michael Flecha, and our good friend Eric Peterson. So yeah, if it we'll have to look into that in just a moment. I'll look it up in just a moment. But as far as this is concerned, I mean, yes, it is all about the Harper and Ambrose thing. The Hollywood Backlash Brawl is one thing, but I was gonna go for a funny moment here. I mean, remember, and I said that I'm gonna bring up a moment that Michael Flecha I know was a big fan of. This kind of reminded me almost in a way, and I know Fletcher's gonna love this. Do I even need to say it, Fletch? Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan, Great American Bash, 1996.
Oh, the fight in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I remember that vividly.
Yes, they're fighting in the men's bathroom. Dusty Rhodes said that. And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, they're fighting in a car on the streets. That's what they're doing. They're fighting in the streets. Literally. They're fighting in the streets of Chicago. They're turning this into a literal Chicago street fight. So, in a way, honestly, throughout the night, I was having flashbacks of Benoit and Sullivan from the Great American Bash in '96 when they were fighting in the men's bathroom. But Michael Bullock, you just threw in another image. Same year, ironically, when you brought up the Hollywood Backlash Brawl of WrestleMania 12 with Roddy Piper and Goldust. So it was exactly like that. So those two things were what ran through my mind as we saw this opening installment. So now, Michael Fletcher, I'm very curious. Did you see this fight, or are you gonna have to recluse yourself again?
I'm gonna have to recluse myself on this one, guys, because
Yeah.
like I said, I was on my way home, and so I was unable to see this. Well, I was unable to see the first part of it, but I was definitely all in on part two. So I'll actually give you my rating of part two in a little bit. So we're just gonna dive right into the next fight. Okay, boys, it was the Kiss Me Arse match. It was Dolph Ziggler going up against Sheamus. Dolph Ziggler wins it at 9 minutes and 15 seconds. And lo and behold, what happened? The roll-up of doom! Yes, it was the roll-up of doom, as I like to call it. He gets the victory. Okay, conventional wisdom says that this is a decent fight. There's no doubt about it. I could even say this was a 3-star fight. Solid 3 stars. So the match was good. I just hate the gimmick or the reason for the kiss me arse. I mean, come on. If you're totally PG, then why do you want some dude kissing another dude's rear end? I don't want to see that. And luckily, Sheamus actually did something cool. He hit some south below the belt, south of the border, whatever the heck you want to call it, and he embarrasses Dolph Ziggler. You kind of have the feeling like this is going to be a pickup of another battle sometime down the line. So this rivalry is not over. However, this was a solid fight. It was a good match. It was a solid fight, and it really gave, there was some good psychology. And again, Dolph Ziggler gets a victory, so he propels himself back up. But once again, Sheamus looks really strong with the post-fight beatdown. He was humbled for a moment, and then the sly Sheamus with that goofy haircut. Yes, you look stupid. The fans were yelling that in Chicago too. Trust me, we were in Providence when we saw it on when we saw the SmackDown, and we were yelling, "You look stupid," as well. So no doubt about it. But good fight, solid fight. 3 stars is my rating for it. Anthony, go.
Yeah, between 2 3/4 to 3 stars is my rating for the fight. I definitely agree. I mean, solid matchup here. I mean, there was some very good near falls in this matchup. I mean, yeah, an out of nowhere finish. Yes, roll up out of nowhere. Oh, believe me, the out of nowhere is gonna be coming into a full effect. And for the first time in a while, I'm gonna have a Mimi on this later tonight. So keep your eye out for it. So, with that said, and I know, and oh, by the way, this Mimi I know Michael Fletcher is gonna like. I know Fletcher usually doesn't like to do the Mimi thing that much, but Fletcher, you're going to love this one I'm going to have later on, I promise you. But for right now, this here, very surprising. I mean, honestly, we all thought Sheamus was going to go over here. I certainly had Sheamus going over. Bullock had Sheamus going over. Derek had Sheamus going over. Fletch, I know if you did a prediction thing, you would have probably had Sheamus yourself, I'm sure. But no, Ziggler gets the victory out of nowhere. It wasn't really a roll-up. It was more. It was kind of like a. It was almost like a mini small package. That's what it kind of was. It didn't really look like a roll-up. I mean, it didn't look like a schoolboy roll-up. It looked more like a little mini small package. That's what I thought. And but no, Ziggler gets the big win. Very happy about that because you know how much the IWC loves Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he's another IWC darling. You know, a la Neville, a la Daniel Bryan. But man, what a match it was. And 9 minutes and 40 seconds, the time of the fall. By the way, the Neville and Barrett fight was 10 minutes and 35 seconds. This was 9 minutes and 40 seconds, according to my notes here. And yes, 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Like I said, solid matchup here. I mean, these two do work well together. And yeah, of course, they kept it PG. You know, when it came to the actual smooching there, if you will. So yeah, so it's a 2 3/4 to 3 stars. That's the best I can give this fight for the good near falls. And well, now let's throw it up to the man who had the most vested interest in this fight, Michael Bullock. I mean, this is the match you were looking the most forward to. What were your thoughts on this Kiss Me Arse match?
Well, I mean, like you said, I thought it was a good match. I mean, it was a solid two. I'm going to say 3 stars for this one as well. I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, I liked the good near falls and some of the good moves that we saw here, but it's just that gimmick that really, really left a bad taste in my mouth. But luckily, we didn't get to see actually someone kissing someone's arse because, but unfortunately, we had the roll-up of doom. Yeah, right. You know how much I really don't like that. Yeah, so, we all were thinking, yeah, Sheamus was going to do it. He hits the low blow and then hits a brogue kick and says, you know what? I'm going to make you kiss my arse. So he did, and some humiliation for Dolph Ziggler. And I get a feeling we're going to get another match between these two, probably at the Payback pay-per-view. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So 3 stars is my rating for the match. So with that being said, let's move on, Fletch.
All right, gentlemen, and we actually move on to the next fight of the night, which was for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd against the New Day. This time it was because, technically they have the Freebird rule in effect, but this time it was Kofi Kingston and Big E Langston representing the New Day. And ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the bout and the new WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day, wins the belt here tonight. Anthony Florio, what is your feelings?
New champs? Yeah, did we call that? Yeah, we called that one. No doubt about it. I mean, say what you want about the New Day, but the right team won this fight, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, yes, Kidd and Cesaro, they are the best team in the world. Let's not kid ourselves. But this actually makes sense from a booking standpoint for 2 reasons. One, you can have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro as babyface champions in chase mode, or you can move on from them altogether and you can start a tag title program with the New Day and the Luchas. Think about that. So this could work out. We could maybe see the New Day defending against the Luchas at the Payback in a few weeks. So this actually makes sense from a booking standpoint. Of course, the crowd, they pissed all over New Day. I mean, what else is new? Chicago, the IWC capital of the world. Everybody knows that. But here's the thing, though. This was a really, really good fight. It's one of my top fights of the night. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I mean, there was some great action in this fight. I mean, remember at the Royal Rumble during the kickoff show for that event back in January in Philly, these two teams put on a very surprisingly good match that really exceeded our expectations. And yes, while it sucked that we had to lose Daniel Bryan for this show tonight, WWE actually had to rebrand. They had to do a reshuffle, if you will. They put Neville and Bad News Barrett on the kickoff show, and they put the tag team titles on the main card. Great booking move right there. Not often I actually compliment their booking style, but in this case, I gotta give them kudos for that one, because they actually made the tag team titles feel, for the first time in a while, a little prestigious, which is great. I mean, there's another set of belts that needs prestige and credibility, and I know the fans are not thrilled about this one day. I know the IWC is really angry about this, and because you know how much they love Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, and Fletch, guess what? Cesaro did your favorite move during the fight. You know the one, your favorite, the Cesaro swing. Yes, he actually did it, but Xavier Woods was involved in the finish there. I'm not at all surprised. You knew he was going to be involved in one way. And guess what? How did it end? The dreaded roll-up of doom. Kofi with a handful of tights. I can't believe I'm saying that. Kofi used a handful of tights. Kofi, one of the most over guys in the company for so many years, since his debut 7 years ago, resorted, well, he gave me the ammo. I got to do it. In the immortal words of Jesse Ventura from WrestleMania 5, pulling the tights and getting the win. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, but Anthony, I can also say, let's use another Jesse pun here. Win if you can, lose if you must.
But always cheat.
But always cheat.
You got it.
And that's exactly what they did. But damn it to hell, though. That was a damn good fight. But now that I think about it, because of that, I'm just going to give it 3.25 stars. But it was still a damn good match, though. I mean, some great near falls. The crowd was white hot into it. I mean, everybody worked their asses off during this fight. And, yeah, very enjoyable match. I fully expect a rematch tomorrow. I think they're going to book the rematch clause. I think they'll do that tomorrow night on Raw in Green Bay. I wouldn't be surprised, in the very least. I don't think they're going to wait until Payback. They could, but I highly doubt it. Usually when we get something like this, they usually do a rematch almost 90% of the time the next night. So I fully expect a rematch with these two teams tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw in Green Bay, and I fully expect New Day to go over again thanks to heel shenanigans. And maybe when it comes to Payback, maybe then we can move on to the New Day and a new title feud against the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara and Kalisto. That's my train of thought. 3.25 stars. I was going to give it 3.5, but I'm going to take a quarter point off because of the dreaded roll up of doom and the pulling of the tights and getting the win. So it's a 3.25 star match, but damn it to hell if it wasn't a good match. It was. So with that said, Michael Bullock, New Day, Kid and Cesaro, tag team titles, new champs. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll say 3.25 stars as well. And yeah, I mean, this was a very good tag team title match, and I'm glad that they put this on the main card now. I mean, because we were ranting and raving about the tag team title match being on the kickoff show, but yeah, I'm glad they moved it to the main card, and I mean, a lot of great back and forths and a lot of great maneuvers. I mean, yes, we got to see the famous Cesaro swing, and just when it looked like they were going to retain the tag team titles, of course, we get a little interference from Xavier Woods, and then Kofi Kingston, of all the people, would do the roll-ups and then the pulling of the tights. I mean, this is a guy that was well respected by everyone as a singles competitor, and we all thought should have gotten a big time push, but he had to use the dreaded roll of tights. But I guess you can understand that. I mean, because you want to push the New Day as the dreaded heels, and the best way to do it by having them pull the tights. So what happens now? I do agree with Anthony. I think we'll give a rematch between these two teams tomorrow night on Raw, and which I think, of course, the New Day will retain, and setting up for a feud between the New Day and the Lucha Dragons for the tag team titles, which I think will happen at the Payback pay-per-view. So 3.25 stars is my rating. So with that being said, let's move on to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Solid fight. I mean, like you said, 3 stars is my rating for the match. The roll up of Doom, yes, we always kind of cringe over that. I don't mind that Kofi pulled the tights and got the 1, 2, 3. You know, it actually solidifies the heel turn of the New Day. You know, they have been getting junked on by the IWC. They're finally getting the heel like heat now, and now they have the biggest feather in the cap for them, as they have captured the WWE Tag Team Championship. And you know, congratulations to the New Day. Um, Definitely, without a doubt, a great moment for them. And now we go into the next fight of the night, and gentlemen, lace them up because it was part 2 of the Chicago Street Fight, Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. Dean Ambrose finishes the fight. He officially was declared the winner, and according to 411mania.com, they actually have it listed as 60 minutes, 1 full hour. You know, we have to include the intermission and whatnot because I guess the clock was running because the match never stopped. So with that said, Michael Bullock, I give it to you. What's your, now you can give me unofficial rating for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, because remember, the street fight never ended because the street fight could only end in a pinfall or submission. And because remember, there are no countouts or disqualifications in this. So, as far as my thoughts for this match, I'm gonna give this probably about 3 stars is my rating. Yeah, I mean, I thought through all that. I thought it was a good match, and boy howdy, let's just say we were in Steel Chair City during the latter portions of the match. I mean, well, before that, they came back from what was going on in that car, and let's just say Dean Ambrose took out the New Day when he went to take out Luke Harper. So yes, then as the beating continued, they each threw chairs in the ring, and like I said, we were in Steel Chair City, and yeah, it looked like Luke Harper was going to powerbomb him onto the tables, but it was Luke Harper who got put onto those steel chairs, I should say. He hits the Dirty Deeds, 1, 2, 3, gets the win. So, man, this was a crazy ending to what I thought was a very strange and crazy match between these two. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say except 3 stars is my rating. So that being said, Fletch, I don't know. How do you follow up this craziness that we saw between these two guys?
This was absolute insanity. I mean, I just saw like I said, I didn't get to see the first part. I gotta go back and see it. The second part was just as nuts. I mean, I'm almost dreading what I missed in part 1. All I can say is that 3 stars for at least part 2, and this was freaking nuts. I mean, I loved it. I love the hardcore aspect of it. This was a tremendous fight, no doubt about it. I agree with you, Bullock. Anthony, it's yours.
So what do we agree on? What do we agree on for the rating here?
So far, it sounds like it's 3 stars across the board. Bully gave it 3, I gave it 3. Now it's you.
Let's make it unanimous. 3 stars. Yes. If let's face it, if this was an hour-long match with no interruptions, this would have been a 5-star classic, and it would have been the fight of the night, and it would have been the match of the year, no doubt about it. But nope, not quite, because we had those two separate parts, a la WrestleMania 12. But nonetheless, it's a 3-star match, and yeah, I mean, um, what else is there to say? I mean, and here's the thing though, the if you didn't notice, we had a little bit of a throwback to the old days of ECW. Michael Flecha, don't think I didn't notice this. When Ambrose and Harper were throwing chairs in the ring. Yes, come on, wasn't that a staple in the old ECW? You should know. You were a big fan of it, as well as Derek Ferrera. So,
Well, throwing chairs, yeah, that was kind of a staple of ECW. Throwing chairs at each other with unprotected shots, yeah, that was definitely pro ECW.
yeah. So, well, okay. So with that said, really, really good match, though. I mean, it was a fun match while it lasted. I mean, I was kind of hoping for more. I didn't like that they had to, split this into 2 parts. I was kind of hoping that they would have done this all in one shot, but it is what it is, I guess. So, but it's going to be a 3 stars. So that's the best we can give it. So I was kind of hoping for better. So with that said, let's just move on.
And the next fight of the night we had was for the United States Heavyweight Championship. The champion John Cena versus Rusev in a Russian chain match. Now, we did not know what to expect with this fight. We didn't know what the rules were and everything else. We finally found out the rules, and for me, I know this really well. It's almost the equivalent of the Caribbean strap match, guys. So here's the rules, and let me go brief with it. Basically, both John Cena and Rusev, one of their arms is going to be chained. Basically, they had a leather strap and they're chained together. They're about 10 to 15 feet of chain. On each of the corners, there were lights. Green for Cena, red for Rusev. It's pretty simple. The first man to touch all 4 turnbuckles in succession with no interruption would be declared the winner and the United States heavyweight champion. The winner of the match and still the United States champion, John Cena. Cena wins the match. I gotta say it. To me, this was about 2.5 to 2 3/4 solid match, good match. Um, it kind of was very slow and methodical in certain areas, which I believe. However, overall, I thought the body of work was really good. There was one moment in the fight that had me really wondering what was going on, and that was the moment where I guess the Chicago crowd, that IWC crowd, was showing their love for Lana. And trust me, boys, I actually got to see her live. Oof, she is a looker. Beautiful, beautiful person. And I'll say this: she gets up and a very rare cape face moment. She actually, showed the love, showed respect to the crowd in Chicago. The crowd was cheering for Lana. She got up on the apron and gave him a little wave. Just to basically show that I hear you guys. Thank you for the love. Rusev did not like that. Told Lana, hit the bricks, toots. Get the hell out of this building right now. I don't want you're stealing my spotlight. Get out of here. Well, Chicago fans didn't like that. I know Florio probably was yelling, no, 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 no. Oh, hell no on that.
No, 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 no,
Figured it
no.
happened.
Oh, hell no. Get the you-know-what out of here with that.
I had a feeling that was coming, but the next thing we know, the fight continues on, and it was a great match, a great moment. You know, basically Cena and Rusev got the third corner. There was only one corner left. It was the bottom left corner, basically the bottom end left corner side. They both went for it. An AA attitude adjustment. John Cena falls back. Bang hits the fourth corner. Green lights lit up on all four ends. Cena wins the match. Cena wins the belt. And then probably one of the more cool moments, Cena showing the belt off. There's that obligatory explosion and unfurls the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes, the flag of the United States of America in Chicago. Cool moment, to say the very least. Super Cena rules the roost again. Like I said, two and a half to 2 3/4 stars is my rating for the match. Anthony, what says you?
Time of the fall, 13 minutes and 35 seconds with Cena going over. They made decent use of the chain, but to me, it was just all right. The finish was nothing special, and the match wasn't really all that memorable. But it was a solid match, though. I will give you that. I'm going to give it 2.5 to 2 3/4 stars as well, Flex. I agree with your rating on that. I mean, that's really the best you can give it. I mean, to me, the standout moment was obviously Lana there. I mean, lucky you to get to see her up close and personal. Hopefully, when it comes back here in 4 months, I'll be there this time. But nonetheless, it was still, you're gonna have to tell me more about that, behind the scenes. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, that's your IWC crowd, man. I mean, Lana is an IWC darling. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, she is, maybe the most attractive woman in the WWE, the most sexiest woman in the WWE. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, she's got everything, man. She's got everything. The eyes, everything. It's the body and everything else, the legs, everything else. I mean, goodness. I mean, oh man. I mean, but nonetheless, here we are, Cena and then Rusev. I mean, it was kind of a throwback to the Attitude Era when Marvelous Mark Mero, alias Johnny B. Bad, used to do the same thing to Sable. When he would send Sable away. The male fans of the IWC were pining for Sable like they were doing it for Lana tonight. Lana takes it. Lana goes and gives the crowd, gives the fellas what they want. And then all of a sudden, Rusev, channeling Mark Mero, says, not on my watch. You're out of here, honey. I mean, yeah. It was kind of like that. It was almost. You could even go further back. You could even go back to the days of Randy Macho Man Savage and Miss Elizabeth, for God's sakes. I mean, it was kind of almost like that in a way too. But nonetheless, they made a good use of the chain. I will admit that it was a decent use of it. But to me, even though the match was fine for what it wasn't really nothing really stood out, and it wasn't really all that special and memorable. I mean, the crowd was into it. I'll give them that. Crowd was definitely hot for the finish, though. I will give them that. And it was nice to have that little American flag drop down and whatnot. But at the end of the day, though, I'm not at all surprised Cena goes over. And guess what, fellas? You thought this was the end of it? You thought this was the blow-off? It ain't done yet, boys. We're getting these two again. One more time next month at Payback in Baltimore. John Cena defends the United States Heavyweight Championship one more time against Rusev in an I Quit match. Yeah, let's ponder that one, if you will. So 2.5 to 2 3/4 as well. I got a feeling though, when it comes to the I Quit match next month, not only is that going to be the blow off, but I think that's going to be the best match of their series. I really do. I just got a feeling it's going to be chock full of Shakespearean drama. I don't know why. I'm just getting this feeling in my gut about that just now. So it's a 2.5 to 2 3/4 star fight. And don't forget, I Quit next month. Payback. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, I'll say 2.5 stars is my rating for the match. I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was, but I mean, it really wasn't all that special. I'll say that. I mean, yeah, I mean, we did see some use of the chain, but not really all that much. So yeah, I mean, like you said, when Lana got up there and acknowledged the crowd, Rusev saying, you're not stealing my spotlight. Hit the bricks, Toots. And boy, howdy, the crowd was not too happy about that. And I even heard that they were chanting, "We want Lana," and Rusev was basically like, "No, you're not getting Lana." So, I mean, it does have that little feeling of Mark Merrow and Sable when, of course, Mark Merrow was marvelous Mark Merrow, and the early days of Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. So yeah, and you thought the rivalry between these two was over? First off, before that, I loved how after Cena won the match, he posed with the title and of course with the American flag in the background. That was a cool moment. And you thought the rivalry between these two was over? Nope, it's not. We're gonna get them one more time at Payback in an I Quit match. And I do agree. I think this has got the possibility of being the best match in this rivalry. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So 2.5 stars is my rating. So that being said, Fletch, I give it to you.
And we dig right into the next fight of the night, which was for the WWE Divas Championship, as Nikki Bella puts the title on the line against Naomi, the winner of the bout, and still Divas Champion Nikki Bella. And I believe, Anthony, you lead off on this one, my friend. So what's your feelings?
Time of the fall, 7 minutes and 20 seconds on that. Match was very good, I will admit it. I'm gonna give this. I'll go 2.5 once again here. 2.5 stars for this. Twin Magic strikes again, fellas. Yep, the old Twin Magic rears its ugly head one more time. Ugly. But I mean, at first I was furious about this because let's face it. I mean, I honestly thought this should have been Naomi's night to go over here, set up something with her and Paige down the road. But maybe Paige might not be ready to come back sooner than we think. So maybe they want to keep it on Nikki Bella a little bit longer. I can understand that. Because I mean, we all saw it. I mean, okay, maybe it wasn't the Twin Magic that we're so accustomed to, but Brie got involved and got in a cheap shot on Naomi and got the win. So here we are. The Bellas are baby faces who never turn, and Nikki wins with outside interference. Yeah, okay. But anyways, the only reason I would be okay with the finish because it creates the standpoint that it gives Naomi an excuse for losing. I thought she was really impressive in the match, and I think the finish sets up the need for an immediate rematch. I really do. So I think it's far from over with these two beauties. You gotta admit that. But Naomi worked her ass off here. Both divas worked their ass off, for that matter. Hashtag give divas a chance. Getting there. I'm 50-50 on the finish. I mean, from the Naomi standpoint, gives her an excuse for losing, and definitely sets up the need for a rematch. That's from my professional standpoint. From my personal standpoint, absolutely hated the finish. Honestly, from a personal standpoint, I felt Naomi should have won it. But let's face it, guys, the Bellas are and always will be the faces of the WWE division. And on top of that, they are what's best for business. Best for business wins out one more time, probably. 2.5 stars for the effort. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Divas title matchup and that nonsensical finish?
And don't forget, they're married to two popular superstars in the WWE. Or
Oh, Bullock, hold up, hold up. It's only one
well,
married, one
I
gay.
know I know that's why I
Easy
just realized.
now.
I meant to say, well, one of them, Brie Bella, of course, is married to Daniel Bryan, and of course, John Cena and Nikki are just dating. So
Dude,
yes,
one of my friends would have came over
yeah, I
here
probably would have got my
and almost chewed you out for that.
yeah, I would yeah, I probably would my head would be served on a silver platter when if yeah, had to choose my words wisely on that.
The only
I
reason
mean,
why is because one of my friends is not really the biggest Nikki Bella fan, and yeah, mega
yeah,
fan of.
for some reason, I mean, it just came to my head with that, but I keep forgetting because of some of those Total Diva shows that they're just dating. So
Yeah, that's okay, that's okay. But
yeah,
move on. Go ahead, Bullock. It's all
Uh,
yours.
all right, all right. So what did you rate the match, Florio? Uh,
Yes, 2.5 stars.
all right, yeah, 2.5 stars. I think is the correct rating. I thought the match was fine for what it was. The ending, I just did not like it. I mean, I thought it was a little pointless, if I'm going to be quite honest here. Um, yeah, I mean, I was really hoping Naomi would win this match, but yep. But let's be quite honest here. I mean, yeah, I mean, I know some people don't like it, but hey, let's be honest here. Nikki Bella's been getting very better, and I think she's been a good Divas champion, but I think at some point she's going to have to lose the title. When will it happen? Maybe it could happen at Payback, because I get this feeling we're probably going to get another match between these two, and I'm hoping that this is the time that Naomi will finally win the Divas Championship. But as we always like to say here at the Wrestling Forum, the jury is out to lunch on that. So 2.5 stars. The finish, not a big fan of it. Fletcher, I give it to you.
I think you guys are absolutely right. I mean, at the end of the day, the the Nikki Bella Naomi fight was on the verge of having a tremendous match, and then it fell apart at the end. And but here's the thing that I noticed that I don't think nobody really knew. Brie hits Naomi with a kick to the face. I don't think Nikki realized it. If you looked at it, she did the rack attack. She got the 1, 2, 3. But before Nikki could realize what had happened, Brie jumped in and jumped on her sister and started celebrating like we won, we won, we won. I don't know, guys. I think when when Nikki realizes that Brie kind of pulled the twin magic card on her, I don't think she's gonna be too thrilled with this. So yeah, and of course Naomi definitely has a majorly gripe to say the very least, because yeah, she definitely might have had a chance to win the belt. We don't know. She definitely had a great opportunity, but like you guys said, I think this is good enough to prolong the rivalry a little bit longer and let these two go at it one more time at Payback in Baltimore for the belt, and maybe there we do get the payoff and possibly a new WWE Divas champion. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, with that said, we're going to move on to the next part of the night, which was the last man standing match between Roman Reigns and the Big Show. Roman Reigns wins the bout at 19 minutes and 40 seconds. And I believe it goes to you, Michael Bullock. You actually hit the jackpot on this one, my friend. You lead off on this fight.
All right. As far as my rating for this match, I mean, um, the match. I mean, I thought it was gonna be not all that great, but it actually turned out better than what it was. I mean, But yeah, there were still some times that it was slow and it was boring at times. But we did see a little hardcore action. I mean, you said with Big Show choke slamming Roman Reigns through 2 tables, and excuse me, and then of course, Flecha, I know you're gonna hate what I have to say. The Spanish announce table got destroyed when Roman Reigns speared the Big Show right onto the Spanish announce table, and I was like, oh no, Flecha is not gonna be too happy about this. He's probably pulling his hair out of his head. He was like, why are you guys wrecking the Spanish announce table? I mean, ugh. And then, even after that, it wasn't enough to keep the Big Show down. And then Roman Reigns, with all of his strength, turns the English announce table over and puts it on the Big Show. So, as far as as my rating for it, I hate to say it, I'm going to give it 3 stars. I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was. I could have given it a much better rating, but I think because there were some slow spots at times during the match, but I thought the match was fine for what it was. But please, WWE, please let this be the last match between these two we get for a while, because I mean, WWE, I mean, the fans, and of course the 3 of us here and Derek Ferreira, we're getting sick and tired of this rivalry. So please let this be the end. And I'm warning you right now, if we get another match between these two, watch out. The Phenom is going to come out. Yes, I will go off on this, so I'm just putting the warning out right now. So that being said, Flecha, I give it to you.
I mean, I'm going to say this. This was better than expected. This was more awesome than expected. And I'm about to shock the living daylights out of you guys. To me, fight of the night, 3 3/4 stars. This fight was absolutely crazy good. Last man standing, without a doubt. Yeah, did it have slow moments? Yes, it did. But it really did. It really kept a good pace, a fast pace. The fight was unbelievable. I mean, Roman Reigns got choke slammed through 2 tables. Then he did a spear through the barricade, and basically the ring announcer's position gets destroyed. 2 tables gets thrown. Yes, the Spanish announce table goes kaboom, and yeah, I went kaboom. But then the English announce table basically gets used as a body prop as Roman Reigns basically grabs it and tosses it over the top to pin the Big Show for the 10. It was a tremendous fight, no doubt about it. Plus, it had almost 20 minutes of action. Guys, there's no. This is hands down to me the fight of the night, no doubt about it. At least for me, 3 3/4 stars is my rating. I wish I could give it a little higher, but I was thrilled with this. I loved every minute of it. Florio, it's yours.
Well, this brings up the age-old question: who do I agree with? Do I agree with Michael Bullock or do I agree with Michael Flecha? Color people surprise, folks. I'm going to agree with the Cerebral Viper on this one. This was the fight of the night. Fletch, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. But the rating, I'm actually going to go a little bit higher on this, believe it or not. 4 1/4 to 4.5 stars. This was a damn good match. I mean, this was the fight of the night, without question. I mean, do you see some of the bumps during this thing? That's one of the reasons why I'm giving the rating I am. I mean, I have never seen such sick bumps in one match than I have in this. I mean, where do I start? I mean, ugh. Big Show choke slamming Roman Reigns through those 2 tables. one big bump. The spear by Roman Reigns through the barricade, and then Roman Reigns, using the steel steps which Big Show set up near the announce table, the spear through the announce table, and well, you're gonna love this. In the immortal words of this guy here, oh my God! Look at that. What do you think of that, Michael? What do you think about that, Michael Flecha? What do you think about that, Michael Bullock? He's got his own shirt. And, yeah, hey, Fletch, if you want to get a present for yourself.
Classic.
If you want to get a present for yourself, Michael Flecha, there you go. There's a nice little birthday gift for yourself right there. I mean, now if only we can get one of those for you, Fletch. I mean, because we all know how much you love Joey Styles, and rightly so. And I got one better. Yep, there's another one. So, but I felt the other one was better. But that's basically what everybody would that. And yes, Fletch, if you and I were doing the commentary at that particular moment, I would have had you doing that big time, because there were so many of those moments during that fight. And oh my God, the bumps that these guys took, unbelievable. Yes, I crapped all over this fight going in. I honestly thought this was going to be one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night, because I thought it was going to be a slow, boring snoozer fest of a fight. Michael Bullock, I think you severely underscored this bout. Michael Flecha, I think you slightly underscored it, but
yeah, that's why I just said on the message there. I don't know if you guys saw it. I have to correct myself. It was 3.5 to 4 stars is what I'm giving it.
All right.
I had to correct myself on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine too, Bullock. But based on the body of work, based on the bumps, and based on the crowd reaction, that's why I'm giving this 4.25 to 4.5 stars. And it's definitely this just went into my top 10 when it comes to the matches of the year for 2015 so far. Is it the match of the year? No. I still think it's the Lesnar, Cena, Rollins triple threat from the Rumble, because you remember I gave that a 5-star classic, and I still consider that as my fight of the year for 2015 at this moment, as of now. But nonetheless, it's definitely one of the 10 best matches of 2015 I've seen so far, and it far exceeded my expectations. And wow. Well done, gentlemen. Job very well done. A night where we thought Seth Rollins and Randy Orton was going to steal the show. Nope. These two guys, they stole the show. Well done, Roman Reigns. Well done, Big Show. Say what you want about both of these guys, but they definitely came to play tonight. Well done, fellas. Well done. 4.25, 4.5 stars. Fight of the night, 19 minutes and 40 seconds worth of action. I don't know what else there is to say, Fletch. Let's just move on.
Well, there's only one thing left. The main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton inside the confines of a 15-foot high steel-tempered cage, with the gatekeeper being Kane, the winner of the bout, and still WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Okay, guys, I hate to do this. 2.5 stars, and this fight really got under my skin. I mean, this was supposed to be the biggest main event, a great match, and everything else. It turned into a complete and utter overbooked authority shenanigan mess. I mean, you had J&J Security, you had basically, you had J&J Security, you had Kane get involved in the fight, beating up on both guys, and then the finish. That really got me ticked. You had Randy Orton hit an RKO on Kane. Seth Rollins hits an RKO on Orton, and then Rollins escapes through the door to win? Wait a minute. Isn't there some kind of rule or decree that the RKO was banned from this fight? Now, JBL was saying, well, the problem is that the RKO was illegal for Orton to use, but there was no problem with Rollins. But both Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler both jumped up and were like, wait a minute, Rollins did an illegal move. You're not. The RKO was banned from the entire fight. You're not supposed to be using that move at all. There's such a gray area with this fight, but the fact that that little slimy little punk Seth Rollins used Orton's own move to win the bout, and not only just win it, but then he slithers his way out and jump and crawls out with the belt. I mean, yeah, that was definitely an overbooked mess and a complete and utter sham of a main event. I'm sorry, guys. If this is what the future is like for WWE, as Seth Rollins as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, if he's going to give us this type of crap, then we got problems. Let's just say that. Nothing more to say. 2.5 stars is my rating for this main event. Florio, go.
Yep, Cerebral Viper rant. You knew it was coming.
Damn, Fletch, tell us how you really feel, man.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Holy moly.
Well, I do have a couple of fun. I do, but you know what? I think now would be a good time for me to ease the tension a little bit, and I can't think of a better way to do just that than with a couple of memes. Well, these two I just found. I got one still to come that I'm going to create. But here's the first one in regards to the finish. It was not a RKO. It is called a SRO. Yeah. So there you go. There's your first one. And then on top of that, Bobby the Brain Heenan. The RKO was clearly banned during the match, and yet Rollins uses the RKO and somehow wins the match? That's a load of crap. So, basically, Michael Flecha was channeling his inner Bobby Heenan on that one, and I can't blame him for that. I mean, cluster you-know-what. That's all there is to it. I mean, it's 2.5 stars. I'm gonna agree with Fletcher's rating on that. Very disappointing fight. I mean, it was definitely full of authority shenanigans. I mean, and you do know how we here at the Yes Movement feel about authority shenanigans. Michael Bullock, if you will.
No.
No.
No. Get the you-know-what out.
With that stuff. That's how
with that piece of shitty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as Seth Rollins, when it comes to that, he could take his cockiness and he could shove it up his ass.
Yeah. Okay. But nonetheless, I do have a meme of my own coming up. Just bear with me. But all I know is this, folks. I mean, authority shenanigans at its absolute finest. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it. I mean, there's definitely going to be a need for an immediate rematch at the earliest possible date. That date will be May 17th at the Payback pay-per-view in Baltimore, Maryland. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this one. Maybe there's a slight chance. I mean, Fletch, one of your top 2184 guys, Bill McConnell, he actually suggested in a comment maybe this sets up a triple threat with Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Think about that.
Well, I wanted it to comment, and it's a good thing you brought that up. I kind of, as much as, and I respect what Bill McConnell says, but something tells me it's going to be a triple threat. But what I'm thinking is it's going to be Kane versus Rollins versus Orton. For
Maybe the
WWE
return
World
of the
Heavyweight
Masked Kane?
Yeah.
I said maybe.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, the monster kind of was a little bit unleashed tonight. I mean, Rollins kind of poked the bear a little too much there, Florio. Maybe. Very possible.
Yeah, you certainly did, and yeah, it definitely leads to a lot of intrigue going into Monday Night Raw in Green Bay, Wisconsin tomorrow night. I mean, there is no doubt about this, but yeah, the level of excitement that we had going into this fight was definitely very high. We thought it was going to be a really good match, and yeah, what did I say last night during our preview show? What did I say? Authority shenanigans. We were gonna get nothing but authority shenanigans here, and that's exactly what we got here tonight. And yeah, but here's something else though. If you there's one thing aside from the authority shenanigans and the cluster you know what finish. I mean, Randy Orton, as you all know, the RKO was banned. Everybody knows that. Um, this is where it leads into the funny Mimi, and I just created this just a moment ago. If you noticed it during the fight, here you go. What do you think of this? Pedigree out of nowhere. Yep. If you noticed it, Randy Orton used the pedigree. Isn't that a cardinal sin for somebody to do that move? Because it's Hunter's move? Doesn't usually people get flack for that?
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, but remember, Orton was a member of Evolution,
Yes.
and I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't. I think we're gonna have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Maybe there might be repercussions for that. We don't know. We actually don't know. We'll see.
Well, there's some intrigue right there, folks. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, but as far as what's going to happen next month, we know Rollins is going to defend the belt. Will it be in a one-on-one with Randy Orton? Could it be a triple threat with Rollins, Orton, and Kane? Or who knows? Could Roman Reigns get added to that mix because of his victory over Big Show tonight? We may want to consider that too. So many possibilities, so little time to figure it all out. But we'll have it all figured out. Hopefully, we'll have some sort of closure to this question and dilemma tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, and of course when we do our Wrestling Forum show tomorrow night. So yeah, 2.5 stars. To me, the most disappointing fight on the card, to be honest with you. I mean, cluster bleep finish, chock full, not full of Shakespearean drama, but chock full of God bleeping damn authority shenanigans. Done, finished, bullet, just go.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. A very disappointing main event. I was expecting whole lot, a whole lot more, a whole lot better from this, but too much authority shenanigans, too much overbooking, and yeah, I mean, yeah, Rollins sneaks his way. I mean, and I do agree. I mean, the RKO was banned, so why was Rollins allowed to use it? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I get a feeling we're gonna get another match and maybe a triple threat match with Rollins, Orton, and maybe the return of the Masked Kane. I mean, after what we saw from Kane tonight, so it's a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm not gonna get into any more of that. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on it. I don't feel like going off on a rant here. So 2.5 stars, very disappointing. So Fletcher, let's move on to overall thoughts.
Yeah, let's do it. Anthony, you lead off.
Yeah, I'm going to give this between 6 to 7 out of 10 tonight. I mean, yes, the Chicago crowd was fine for what it was, but I felt that while some of the matches were good, some of them could have been better, if I'm being honest. Roman Reigns and the Big Show, fight of the night, there's no question about it. I mean, tag team title fight, second best fight of the night. And then throw in a really good pre-show fight with Neville and Bad News Barrett. Some of the other matches, like I said, were good, but they could have been better. But yeah, you knew this was not going to be better than WrestleMania at all, to be honest with you. And of course, the Authority shenanigans, that definitely played a part in the rating as well. Couple of questionable booking decisions. Of course, first things first. Of course, the Authority shenanigans, the cluster bleep finish to the main event, and then of course putting Nikki Bella over Naomi when it clearly should have been Naomi winning it, setting up a feud with her and Paige down the line. But it was fine for what it was. It was a middle of the road show. It's 6 to 7 out of 10. I don't know how you guys feel about it. That's just the way I feel about it. So, Payback, of course, we all know it's going to be Cena and Rusev. I Quit. That's obvious. We already know that's etched in stone. United States Heavyweight Championship there. We're probably looking at Rollins against maybe either Randy Orton one more time, or Rollins versus Randy Orton versus Kane, triple threat, or maybe Rollins, Orton, Kane, Roman Reigns, triple in a four-way maybe. Very possible. So, and then not really sure how. Maybe Ziggler and Sheamus goes one more time. Maybe Nikki Bella and Naomi. Maybe we could still get that Naomi and Paige fight. I don't know. Maybe the New Day defending the tag belts against the Luchas. But we got a few weeks to build this thing up when we get, but before we get to May 17th in Baltimore, Maryland for Payback at the newly named Royal Farms Arena. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But clearly, creative is still in hangover mode, coming off that overwhelming success of WrestleMania 31. So they're still in a rut, boys. They're still in a rut. Even though I do commend them for putting the tag title fight on the main card. I do commend them for that. So yeah, 6 to 7 out of 10. That's really the best I can do. If I underscored it, I don't give a damn. So with that said, if I underscored it, overscored it, I don't care. That's just my story. We're sticking to it, telling it like it is, Jesse Ventura style. Michael Bullock, Extreme Rules overall review. Your thoughts?
I'm going to say 6 out of 10 from the
Can't hear you.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say, Florio?
Fix your mic a little more, Bullock. We still can't hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. 6 out of 10 is
my rating. Now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I just want to make sure. All right. 6 out of 10 is my rating for the show. I mean, yeah. I mean, you had some good matches, but some of the overbooking and Authority shenanigans I thought were way too much, and I thought it took some of it away from the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So yeah, 6 out of 10 is my rating. That's all I can say on it. So Flecha, put a wrap on it with your rating.
5 out of 10 for me. I mean, that's how I feel about the show. It was a 50-50 show. There was a good amount of action. There was some good plays there, but definitely some lazy booking, to say the very least, on a lot of factors. And like Anthony said, WrestleMania hangover definitely came in tonight. And then just the utter disgust I have with the main event is just why I knocked this thing so far down. 5 out of 10 for me, so that's it. And, well, tomorrow night is another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Join Anthony Florio as he guest host along with Michael Bullock. I probably will be on. I don't know if I'm going to be for the whole show, but I do have work commitments the next day. But I am going to make a special appearance, as always. And plus, we'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. And a big announcement was made here tonight as well. Gentlemen, for the first time in many years, it's the return of the King of the Ring tournament. How is this going to play out? Well, tournament matches will be held tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, and then the finals, I guess, of the tournament will be the next night on the WWE Network. You'll get to see that. So until then, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Flecha. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We out. Good night. This has been the recap of Extreme Rules on RaceFam95 exclusively on YouTube.com. Have a good night, everybody.